The Wolves of Cernogratz. By Saki. Summary. In the waning days of December, the Baroness of Cernogratz castle dismisses a legend claiming that wolves howl when a family member dies in the castle as mere gimmickry. Amalie von Cernogratz, an old governess and the last of the Cernogratz family, vehemently disputes this. She insists that the howling occurs only when a Cernogratz family member dies in the castle, accompanied by the crash of a tree in the park. The Baroness and guests initially doubt Amalie's claims but later witness the eerie events unfold when Amalie falls fatally ill. The legend, once scoffed at, is validated with Amalie's death, leaving the company in awe. About the author. Saki was the pen name of British author Hector Hugh Munro, whose short stories remain very popular to this day for their wit and sharp comments on society. The Lumber Room and the Open Window are some of his other famous stories. Question 1. Read the extracts and answer the questions. Extract 1. The story is not as you have told it. I know the family history. Para. 6 to 11. Question 1. Who was Amalie? Why does the writer give a more detailed description of Amalie than of the other characters? Answer. Amalie was employed in Baroness Grubel's castle as a governess. The writer gives a more detailed description of Amalie than of the other characters because she is the principal character in the story, more important than the others. Question 2. Why did everyone look at Amalie in astonishment? Answer. Everyone looked at Amalie in astonishment because she usually sat silently and primly at her place, and never spoke unless someone spoke to her. Today, she had suddenly spoken out of turn, replying unexpectedly to the Baroness. Question 3. In what manner did Amalie continue? Why? Answer. Amalie continued rapidly and nervously. She spoke in that manner because she was feeling awkward to be talking in front of so many people, out of turn. Yet she was also determined to talk and explain about the legend, so she spoke rapidly. Question 4. Why does the writer use defiance and contempt to describe how the governess spoke? Answer. Amalie was a governess employed by the Grubels. Therefore, they were, in a sense, in a more powerful position of authority compared to her. The writer uses defiance to describe Amalie's attitude to tell us that on this occasion, she was challenging that authority. She had explained how the Baroness was wrong. He also contempt because here, Amalie expressed a low opinion of the Grubels although they were her employers richer and more important than her. She was implying that the Grubels did not really belong to that castle. Question 5. What was the taunt? Whom was the speaker taunting and why? Answer. The Baroness had taunted Amalie, saying she did not know that Amalie was an expert in family histories, because Amalie had challenged her. She had explained what the legend really was and that it would not apply to someone who was not a von Cernogratz. Question 6. What was the answer to the taunt? Why was it unexpected and astonishing? Answer. Amalie's answer to the Baroness taunt was that she knew the legend because she herself was a von Cernogratz. It was unexpected and astonishing because the Baroness and her guests knew Amalie as an old and poor governess, whereas von Cernogratz, which was an old and rich family who had owned the castle. Extract 2. I think she is dying. The valued friend of Baron and Baroness Grubel. Para. 33 to 40. Question 1. Did Conrad agree with his sister's comment or with the governess? Answer. Conrad agreed with the governess. He believed that she was really a Cernogratz as proved by the howling of the wolves. He told his sister she could never buy the death music even if she wanted to because she was not a Cernogratz. The ritual was not something that money could buy. Question 2. Why did Conrad say that the music could not be bought? Answer. Conrad said that the music could not be bought because he believed the legend. He knew that they, the human beings, could not control the music in any way. They could not make the wolves howl, nor could they make the wolves stop howling. Question 3. What does the falling of the tree in the park signify? Answer. The falling of the tree signified that the governess, the last of the Cernogratz, had died. Question 4. How did the Baroness and the banker's wife explain away the unusual events? Answer. The Baroness and the banker's wife blamed it on the unusually severe winter. The Baroness said the governess died due to keeping her window open to the excessive cold. The banker's wife explained that the cold could have brought the wolves from the forests to the neighborhood and cracked an old tree in the park. Question 5. What is the mystery that is unfolded? Answer. The mystery is the conspiracy of circumstances that brought the last of the Cernogratz to die happily in her own home. Question 6. Why has the writer added the notice from the newspapers? Answer. The writer has added the notice from the newspapers to tell us a little more about the Grubels. The notice shows that they were beginning to think that Amelie might really have been a von Cernogratz. And in case she was, in fact, a member of the old and important family, they wanted people to think that they had been friends with her rather than the truth, which was that Amelie had been their governess and they had not treated her with enough respect. Extract 3. The small woolly lapdog. I am one of a great old family. Para. 22-32. Question 1. How was Whoppy's behavior different from that of the other dogs? Answer. Whoppy, the mistress's lapdog, crouched in fear under the sofa while the dogs set up a racket outside, barking angrily. Question 2. How does the scene of furiously barking dogs heighten the eerie ambience? Answer. The sound effects of the dogs barking relentlessly and the wolves howling in the cold winter night create an eerie effect which is heightened because they are a premonition of something dreadful that is about to happen, the death of a Cernogratz. Question 3. Who was Conrad? How does Conrad's imagination help us to enter the situation? Answer. Conrad was a merchant. We can imagine the countless number of wolves that create and add a mysterious dimension to an imminent death. Question 4. Why did the two women react differently to the open window? Answer. The Baroness wanted to shut the window to keep out the cold wind, but the governess wanted the window open so that she could hear the baying of wolves. This was reassuring as they seemed to acknowledge that she was a Cernogratz. Question 5. How did the two women respond to the howling? Answer. The governess called it death music that was sweet to her ears, whereas to the Baroness the death music was nothing but the howling of the wolves and she did not want to hear it. Question 6. Why did they respond differently to the death music? Answer. To the dying governess, the howling of the wolves was music to her ears, for it was an affirmation that she was being acknowledged as a Cernogratz, the last of the family, whereas to her mistress, it was only an eerie sound that she did not wish to hear at her death. Question 7. How does the writer create a strange and almost frightening atmosphere in this paragraph? Answer. In this paragraph, the small lapdog suddenly hides under the sofa. The dogs outside start barking suddenly and angrily. And then comes the sound of a howl rising and falling, as if it is both near and far. It is a sound that expresses terrible hunger, cold and sadness, along with many other emotions that can hardly be understood. The people cannot understand this sound or the animal's reaction to the sound. Yet they are startled and moved by it, hence it feels strange and rather frightening. Appreciating the text. Question A. Why was the Baroness irritated when Amelie fell sick? Do you think the Baroness really felt annoyed and sorry for Amelie? Answer. Amelie was employed in Baroness Grubel's castle as a governess. Grubel's ego was already hurt as Amelie had disagreed with her regarding the story linked to the castle. Now when Amelie was unwell, she was irritated that she had fallen ill at a time when there were so many guests at home. No, the Baroness was not really sorry for Amelie. She was just annoyed that Amelie could not work as much as usual. She was already angry with Amelie because she had claimed that she was a von Cernogratz, an old and famous family. Question B. How did Amelie know the family history of von Cernogratz? Answer. Amelie declared that she was a von Cernogratz. She said when they had become very poor she had to give teaching lessons and hence changed her name. She knew the story attached to the castle because her grandfather had spent a lot of time in the castle as a boy and her father had shared with her all the family legends. Question C. What did Amelie have to say about the death of a Cernogratz? Answer. Amelie had to interrupt when Baroness Grubel remarked that there was no truth in the story about the dogs and wild beasts howling when someone died in the castle. She said that it did not happen when just anyone died in the castle, but only when one of the Cernogratz family died did the wolves which came from far and the dogs of the castle, farm and the village, howl. A tree would then crash down in the park as the soul left the body. Question D. Baroness Grubel's family has been described as a highly practical family. How far would the reality of the story narrated by Amelie have changed their opinion? Give reasons. Answer. When Amelie introduced herself as a von Cernogratz and said that her father had shared with her the family legends, they did not believe a word of what she had said and brushed that off as a mere fabrication. But later when Amelie was in her sick bed and finally passed away, everything happened the way she had narrated. The family, though tried to give practical reasons for the happenings, finally seemed to have believed her. This is evident from the notice in the newspaper where they referred to Amelie as Amelie von Cernogratz. Question E. What do the family do after the governess dies? What does that say about them? Answer. After the governess dies, the Baron and the Baroness put a notice in the newspaper where they call the governess by the name of Amelie von Cernogratz and claim that she was their valued friend. This shows that they considered the von Cernogratz family to be a great old family. At first, when they thought that the governess was dishonestly trying to act as a von Cernogratz, someone more important than them, they had been annoyed. When it seemed like the legend was true and the governess could really be a von Cernogratz, they claimed in the public notice that she had been their friend. Thus, they were dishonest and anxious to make people believe that they were associated with someone from the great von Cernogratz family.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more updates.